beautiful 55-degree evening in Boston. We welcome you to the TD Bank North Garden as the crowd continues to file in, and we're moments away from game time. Tonight, it is game 2 of the best-of-7 Eastern Conference semifinal series between the Orlando Magic and the defending NBA champion Boston Celtics. The Magic taking game 1 this past Monday night. And this is the first of our TNT doubleheader, the Lakers and the Rockets to follow. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with Reggie Miller will be joined in a moment by David Aldridge working the sidelines. Let's check out the McDonald's starting lineups for the Magic. Up front, Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis at the guards. A third straight start for J.J. Redick with Courtney Lee sideline, and Rafer Alston is at the point. For the Celtics in the backcourt, Ray Allen looking to turn it from the 2 of 12 in game 1, and Rajon Rondo on the front line. Kendrick Perkins, Glenn Big Baby Davis, and Paul Pierce. Now, Reggie, what do the Celtics have to do here tonight to even up this series? And that is the subject of cold, hard facts presented by Coors Light.
Well, it all starts with the Celtics backcourt. Ray Allen and Rajon Rondo, a combined 4 of 24 in game 1. Also, Doc Rivers said they have to attack the lane. They were a -20 with points in the paint in game 1 and guarding the arc. Orlando number 2 in three-pointer attempts, as well as three-pointers made. They were 9 of 27 in game 1, the Magic.
The Magic, though, 1 for their last 11 after starting out first 33 minutes, 8 of 16. Doc Rivers telling us the Celtics must see the speed of Rondo right from the start. They did not see it until the second half in game 1.
Well, not only the speed, but the way he can attack Dwight Howard. And when Dwight Howard comes over to help, that's where he finds Kendrick Perkins and possibly Ray Allen for wide open threes.
In game 1, Orlando led by 18 at the half, by as many as 28 early third. It was 65-37. But the Celtics came roaring back, a furious rally, and actually got it within 3 in the final seconds. And remember, Boston did not shoot a free throw in the first half. They had very little energy, perhaps tired legs, although Doc Rivers said, no, don't blame it on fatigue, but that had to be a factor. And talking with Stan Van Gundy, he says he doesn't buy into the Magic taking away home court advantage with that win on Monday, not against a team like Boston, because, as he points out, the Celtics are so good on the road.
Well, he expects to see the Celtics' best game tonight, energy standpoint, for 48 minutes. And he wants Dwight Howard early on. He felt that he got some early opportunities, just couldn't put him down. In fact, went scoreless in that first quarter. Look for Dwight Howard to be more aggressive at the offensive end early in the first period.
Stan Van Gundy also saying he felt for the first 30 minutes the Magic played the best they've played all season. He said the last 16 to 8 minutes, we were awful. He said it was a debacle. Brandon Salvatore, NF Rush, Tom Washington, the officiating crew as Orlando controls, and that pass from Alston goes through the hands of Turkoglu, took his eye off the ball. The Celtics here at home, 35-6 during the regular season, but they've lost 2 of 5 postseason games on their home court. They double up on Pierce, and Turkoglu able to punch it away, and it carries out of bounds, so the Celtics will put it back in play. And they have 8 on the shot clock.
Well, this is where you talk about Rondo using his speed, especially with 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Try to get something going and get into the paint to finish or find one of those shooters.
Rondo to the pull-up. And back comes Alston. The matchup is Alston and Rondo. Turkoglu is wide open for 3. Hedo did not shoot well the other night, just 6 of 15 from the field. Pierce from downtown. Paul Pierce came out very strong in the fourth quarter in game 1. He finished with 23 points, hitting 3 from three-point land. Doc Rivers felt that Orlando certainly had the looks. There's that running hook by Howard. They had the looks with their outside shooting, but just could not hit. He was not happy with the defensive play of the Celtics. Pierce, once again a three-point attempt, and it is picked up by Reddick.
You know, I like Paul Pierce. He has lively legs tonight.
Good look at Howard. When he's in that deep, you step away, and that's exactly what Perkins did. Boston cannot afford to pick up fouls on that front line.
Well, normally Kendrick Perkins, if Kevin Garnett was playing along with Leon Poe, probably would have made the call as Rondo. Nice pass there by Ray Allen. Took the foul on Dwight Howard, but as you mentioned, you can't afford to do that. Not enough bodies for the Celtics big men.
They are a short-handed team up front. Brian Scalabrine did an excellent job coming off the bench, and we'll see quite a bit of him here tonight. Basket will not count. A foul before the shot attempt. Foul on Davis. There's Kevin Garnett. Leon Poe underwent surgery yesterday for the torn ACL in his left knee.
And what did Doc Rivers say? As soon as Glenn Davis picks up his first foul, automatically I've told Brian Scalabrine to come check in, because we can't afford for Glenn Davis to pick up foul trouble, because he's the backup center for Perkins.
And miscommunication as Alston tried to get it down low. So two quick turnovers picked up by Orlando. Glenn Davis in a discussion with Doc Rivers. Davis fouled out in game one. Here is Allen kicking it back. Rondo fires one up, rebounded by Howard.
Well, he made that shot tougher than it had to be.
Turkoglu, and he draws the foul. It's a blocking foul. And Paul Pierce shaken up.
Paul Pierce, that's his first personal, second team foul.
Looks like he's able to walk it off. Turkoglu fouled on the act, although there's pain as Pierce clenching the right knee.
Yeah, it looked like it was knee to knee as Turkoglu was trying to get into the lane to finish. Here you see the collision here between Hedo and Paul Pierce, and it's just knee to knee as Paul Pierce goes down. It's one of those like Charlie horses that happen throughout the game.
Turkoglu in the 4 games against Boston during the regular season averaged 17 points, hit 10 3-pointers. But also has the challenge of defending on Paul Pierce. Rondo with a change of direction. Beautifully done. He just couldn't beat that outstretched arm of Dwight Howard. Rashard Lewis got off to the fast start in game 1. Punched out by Scalabrine. Allen met by Reddick. There's Perkins operating against Howard. Nice move by Kendrick Perkins.
And I like that, trying to go at the body of Dwight Howard, maybe possibly try to get him in early foul trouble.
And as you may mention earlier, Howard set the tone as Alston is not able to hit on the runner. And a loose ball foul is called. It is on Boston. That's number 2 on Pierce. But on Monday night, Howard with those 2 blocked shots just changed everything in terms of Boston's offense. They were reluctant to go to the rim.
Well, that big block he had on Ray Allen, really, it kind of set the tone defensively for the Magic, as it looks like Stephon Marbury is getting ready to check in here for Paul Pierce, who's picked up 2 early fouls. And what did Doc tell us in game 1 when Paul Pierce picked up his 3rd foul with about 6 minutes left in that second quarter? Things kind of went downhill offensively for the Celtics.
Stephon Marbury played very well in the first half the other night. Did not get in the second half, although Doc Rivers had him over at the scorer's table and changed his mind because the Celtics started to roll offensively. Allen. Perkins with the rebound, and he draws the foul. Good job by Kendrick Perkins. He'll head to the line. The foul on Dwight Howard.
Perkins doing a good job off the Ray Allen miss, keeping the ball alive and going at the body of Dwight Howard.
See the numbers on Perkins: 16 rebounds in game one, only a 60% free throw shooter. The Celtics already ahead of the pace by going to the line here. They did not have a free throw at all in the first half in game one.
Well, I liked how they were aggressive, though, in the second half. 26 free throws. And it all started with the pressure of Rajon Rondo on Rafer Alston.
Boston with a 10-4 lead. We're just underway. It's game two of the best of seven. Redick. J.J. Redick able to create space for himself and hit that jumper.
Well, he's going to be able to shoot over the top of Stephon Marbury. It's not like Ray Allen guarding him, who's about the same size and can contest most shots.
Scalabrine passed on a three. Crowd wanted him to shoot. Nice moves by Perkins. Fired up that jump hook. Redick is open for three. Rondo one half. Trying to get Allen involved. Rondo back to Allen, and he scores.
Nice give and go there by Ray Allen to Rondo, and Rondo back right there. You need moves like that. You're struggling offensively for taking jump shots. Sometimes you need a layup to get you going. You see the pass here to Rondo, the give and go, and maybe this can get Ray Allen on track.
The 2009 NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by the new Hyundai Genesis. The barrier to luxury has been officially kicked in. By Coors Light, introducing the Coors Light 12-ounce cold activated can. When the mountains turn blue, your beer is as cold as the Rockies. By the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. And by Sonic's Everyday Value Menu. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Welcome back to Boston, and right here, time for Gatorade around the cooler. Let's check in with David Aldridge. David.
Well, Marv, you know, Orlando was not expecting to see its rookie two-guard, its starting two-guard, Courtney Lee, until later in this series, if at all, after Lee suffered a fractured left sinus in the first-round series against Philadelphia. But Lee may be back much sooner than expected, perhaps as soon as Game 3 Friday in Orlando. He is now wearing a new polyurethane acrylic plastic composite mask that he had made at a local Orlando company that specializes in making prosthetic legs. He got some shots up today at shoot-around and also before the game. He says the mask doesn't really bother him as much as the idea of playing with a mask. As far as Dwight Howard, his teammate who hurt him by accident by hitting him with that elbow, Lee says, I don't think Dwight knows how strong he is. Marv?
And Courtney Lee has had an outstanding rookie season. A bad pass. Oh, he tried to save it, could not. Turkoglu sliding out of bounds, so the Celtics in possession. Look at Courtney, first-round pick out of Weston, Kentucky. Played 4 years at Weston, Kentucky, and averaged 8 points for the Magic, working his way into the starting lineup. That foul away from the ball. It's a hold along the baseline, and it's on the Magic. It's on Turkoglu.
And you see Ray Allen trying to get free from J.J. Redick, kind of runs right into Turkoglu right here, who just kind of sticks out his buttocks.
Buttocks. Friendly rim. Rondo with 6 points, and the Celtics off to the good start. They have a 14-6 lead. Scalabrine comes up on Turkoglu. Allen defending on the 6'10", Rashard Lewis. Rebounded by Perkins.
Remember in game one, that's exactly what Lewis did against Marbury. Nice feed from Rondo. This small lineup paying off for Doc Rivers and the Celtics.
That gets the crowd going. Lewis passed on a three because of the defense by Scalabrine. Nice tip, though. Dwight Howard got a piece of it, so the Celtics now lead at 16-8, just under 6 remaining in this first quarter. Allen with a quick shot from downtown. Thought he was hit, but it's kept alive by the Celtics. Ray Allen in a conversation with the official Tom Washington. Here's Marbury with a floater, came up short. The Orlando Magic 59-23 in the regular season. Second best record in the history of the franchise. The 95-96 team won 60 games. Here's Howard, the drop step. That Magic team led by Shaq and Penny, coached by Brian Hill. Marbury too strong, so Stephon Marbury has come out shooting as he did the other night, but he was hitting his shots in game one and played very well. They double up on Turkoglu. Run it from straight away for three.
And now the Magic settling for a lot of long jump shots.
Orlando 3 of 14 here at the start. Nice move by Allen. And he's fouled.
Well, Doc Rivers wanting energy to start this game, and he needed speed from his speedster in Rondo. And right here, the backdoor cut for the easy lay-in, and then just kind of low, Ray for Alston to sleep for the lay-in, and then getting other players involved. Finally gets Ray Allen going in the first quarter here with that nice lay-in. So speed and energy from the guy who is the youngest starter on this team. That's what they're looking for Rondo.
Foul was called on Redick. Ray Allen, one of the great free throw shooters in the NBA, 95% from the line this season. Ray Allen, who struggled in game one of the previous series against the Bulls, just 1 of 12, 4 points, 2 of 12 the other night here, an 0 for 6 and a 1 for 7, and looking to turn it in game two as the Celtics have jumped in front 18-8. Mikal Pietrus has checked in, replacing Hedo Turkoglu. Here's Alston with the runner. Knocked aside by Perkins, but kept alive. Rashard Lewis with the bucket.
That's back-to-back second shot opportunities. One tip in by Dwight Howard, and pass possession. Nice follow by Rashard Lewis.
Shot clock to 5. Scalabrine looking for the shot. Gotta force it. Goes to an underhander. And he's called for the travel. He got caught.
I was wondering how many pivot foots was Brian Scalabrine going to have. And Doc Rivers is like, hey, he's got to let it go, especially on that pick and pop. Don't worry about it. Let the shot go, especially with Paul Pierce on the bench. You need scoring right now.
And that's the second time he was reluctant to shoot. He had an opportunity a couple of minutes back. Here is Pietrus. Rejected by Perkins. Pietrus open for 3. And Rondo is all over it.
Magic just shooting 22% from the field. 4 of 18 in this first quarter.
Oh, foul on Pietrus. Ray Allen with the extra cell job on that hit. And it's team foul number 4 committed by the Magic.
And the Celtics up 8 right now, 18-10. But Orlando's only shooting 22%. You would think there'd be a bigger, wider margin for the Celtics here.
And a tripping foul on Pietrus, so he picks up a quick 2. And that puts the Magic over the foul limit.
Well, I like the activity of Ray Allen right here, making sure none of these defenders can grab or hold on to him. And Mikal just kind of gets caught with his arm around Ray Allen coming off the screen.
So 2 more free throws for Ray Allen. Here's a look at the upcoming national TV schedule tomorrow on ESPN. Atlanta Hawks, Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs coming off the convincing win last night. They'll meet in game 2. And Saturday on ABC, same 2 teams. Game 3 Sunday on TNT. The Celtics and the Magic from Orlando. That'll be game 4 with coverage starting 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Celtics have a 20-10 lead. Trying to even up this series at 1 apiece before the scene does shift to Orlando. Alston with the step and then pops it out. There's Redick for 3. J.J. Redick, coming off a sensational career at Duke, primarily from three-point range, has worked his way into the starting lineup because of the injury situation. Nice move by Allen. Ray Allen on the reverse, so he has 8 points. Celtics up 22-13. Redick again is open for 3. And once again, we're seeing some Blue Devil flashbacks.
What did Stan tell us before the game? Look, you know, who has the most confidence in J.J. Redick's game other than himself? And he talked about his exit meeting last year. He says, look, this guy knows he can compete. He can shoot. You're not going to outwork him.
He's 3 of 5 here at the start, 2 from downtown. And that is last touched by Alston. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in this opening quarter. And Boston is up by 6.
Well, Raver thinks he has a wide open layup, but finds J.J. Redick on the wing for a wide open uncontested 3. And then from the other side, nails it, lines it up.
Our focus is on what our mindset has got to be, you know, to win the ball game. You know, definitely there's a sense of urgency has to be from start to finish. You don't want to go into Orlando with 2 games being down 0-2. So we got to play this like this is our 7th game, you know, the game 2. And that's the way it's got to be.
Well, when you're down 1-0 on your home court, it is a desperation game, and that's the way the Celtics have approached it. They have been getting into the paint. Doc Rivers wanted to see more activity going to the rim, and that's been the case.
Well, you see the role reversal of points in the paint right now. The Celtics a +8, getting in the lane and finishing.
Nice pass inside as Perkins is able to lay it home, and the Celtics now lead at 24-16.
And they've got a +10 now, points in the paint advantage for the Celtics.
Just under 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Alston off the dribble, a beautiful move, could not convert. Howard missed on the follow. Back comes Rondo. Nice move by Rondo, just flicking it on a reverse. You know, Turkoglu is back, replacing Mikhail Petrus, who picked up 2 fouls. Scalabrine with the block. There's Rondo on a 3-on-2 and pops it back out. Well, that allows the Magic to get back. Rondo.
Now, I think both point guards are trying to do a little bit too much. We need to settle down and get the ball right down low to Dwight Howard.
Here's Howard throwing back to Turkoglu. Shot clock down to 5. Redick for 3. That's his 3rd from downtown in this opening quarter. And he's been getting the room. Celtics cannot locate a shot on this possession. Down to 4 on the 24. Here's Rondo. Bikes it home. 7-point Celtic lead. About a 2.5-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. J.J. Redick has scored the last 9 points for the Magic by virtue of the 3 3-point shots. Celtics did have a foul to give.
Celtics foul is on number 9, Rajon Rondo. That's his first personal.
So Rondo commits his first.
2 minutes.
And Rondo will sit down. Tony Allen will come on with 8 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
Replaces Rajon Rondo.
Tony Allen played briefly in game 1. Redick will toss it in. Down to 5 seconds. Down to 3. The runner by Rafer Alston. 2 seconds left in the quarter. Here's Marbury looking for room. Fires it. And that's That's the end of the first. So the Celtics, led by as many as 10, they've led all the way in this opening quarter and have a 26-21 lead after one. When we come back, David Aldridge with Magic head coach Stan Van Gundy.
It's time for Coach's Angle, presented by TNT Smash Hit Leverage.
Back here in Boston with Orlando, Stan Van Gundy. You knew they would come out with more energy. How do you keep them out of the paint?
Well, I thought our defense was not very smart. We did a lot of things trying to deny, going for steals, extending our defense too much. It's not how we play. It's not how we want to play. We did not do a good job.
Offensively, did they do anything in particular to take Turkoglu or Lewis out in the first quarter?
No, we just, they thought they were up on them pretty good. They're just allowing Rayford to go to the basket. He's got to finish some shots. They're just letting him go. So,
thanks, Dan.
Okay.
Reggie, Stan Van Gundy just doesn't provide enough information. There is no hedging at all with Stan. There's Eddie House, who just came on. Ray Allen with 3 on the shot clock, gets the step on Turkoglu and hits at the shot clock buzzer. Good start here for Ray. He has 10 points. Anthony Johnson is checked in for Ray for Alston. Mikael Pietrus is back. Dwight Howard getting a rest with Marcin Gortat on the floor for the first time, and a foul is charged to Scalabrine.
These are going to be 2 matchup problems for Doc Rivers and the Celtics. Ray Allen trying to guard Hedo Turkoglu, and Brian Scalabrine, especially down low, trying to go against Rashard Lewis.
And here's Scalabrine defending on Lewis. Got some help, double team. Scalabrine was able to tap it over to Eddie House. House played only 13 minutes in game 1 after his heroics against the Bulls in game 7. Marbury passed on a 3. Allen for 3. And rebounded by Lewis.
Steph has to take that shot. Now, he came and took 2 quick shots in that first quarter. And you're wide open like that as Gortat with a nice finish and the pass from Anthony Johnson. Marbury has to shoot those.
Marcin Gortat had a terrific game 6 against Philadelphia in that closeout game. He started for the suspended Dwight Howard, had 11 points, 15 rebounds, 4 steals. Marbury way off and rebounded by Lewis.
Marbury, since coming in early for Paul Pierce, 1 of 5, 2 points.
Lewis for 3. So the Celtics have a 3-guard alignment. Marbury with House and Allen. Marbury, nice pass for Davis, and he's fouled. He's hacked by Gortat. Davis will go to the line.
Glenn Davis doing a great job out here of setting screens and rolling hard to the basket. Comes up and sets a screen for Stephon. We call this a drag action. Just goes strong up to the basket.
Davis is 73%. Free throw shooter. 2nd round pick last year out of LSU. Weight always a factor. Trying to keep it down this season. He's worked his way into the starting lineup due to the injuries suffered by Kevin Garnett and Leon Poe. And now Rondo returns, coming on for Marbury. And Reggie, as you are well aware, the NBA is on Twitter. Get real-time stats, scores, and insider access from the NBA playoffs at twitter.com/NBA.
I like how you were tweeting in the back before tip-off. That was pretty good.
That was my brother. And a foul is called as Turkoglu took it to the rim, and he's fouled in the act by Allen. So Hedo Turkoglu will shoot 2.
When you think about this, Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis, a combined 1 of 8 for 4 points, and the Magic are only down 6 while shooting 32%. Now, obviously, we know Paul Pierce is on the bench with 2 fouls for the Celtics. But if you're Stan Van Gundy, you've got to be happy where your team is shooting so poorly. Your 2 main stars are struggling for the field, and you're still within striking distance.
Although, as we heard Stan Van Gundy say, not happy with their defensive play in the first quarter, felt they were out of their usual game, going for steals, taking chances. But it's only a 5-point Boston lead. Early in the second, Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, David Aldridge. There's Allen on a catch and shoot, handled by Lewis. Petrus for three. He had the range in game one from downtown. Rondo protecting the dribble against Johnson. Scalabrine for, well, that's a two. Danny Salvatore indicating had a foot on the line, but Scalabrine knocks down the shot from the corner to extend to a 7-point Boston lead. Here's Johnson for three. Anthony Johnson from downtown.
And you can't go under the pick with Anthony Johnson. He's one of those shooters, streaky. When you can get on a roll, you can get going.
Nice pass. Rondo set it up for Davis. Gortat left his man. And Rondo with a nice play.
Oh, nice all-around game for Rondo. 8 points. That's his 6th assist here in this first half.
Lewis met on a switch by Davis. Turkoglu. Another missed three-pointer. 4 of 12 shooting from downtown by the Magic. Here's House. Oh, what a move. Eddie House, who rarely takes it to the rim, able to go baseline, hit on the scoop, and it leads to an Orlando timeout.
I think this surprised even Eddie House right here, taking the ball off the dribble for the land. And then the pick and roll action again. Rondo this time to Glenn Davis for the finish. Boston up 8.
Back in Boston now to a segment that has really taken off, in particular from a global point of view. Overseas, it's off the charts. Ready to go? This is Reggie's Mailbag, presented by BlackBerry.
Well, great questions, and this one has been asked maybe the most often, and it comes from a Courtney C. Wants to know, who are my all-time top 5 best three-point shooters? I want to start with Glenn Rice, who won a championship with the Lakers in 2000. Craig Hodges, as you know, long-range shooter for the Bulls. Dale Ellis, Seattle Supersonic, fabulous shooter. And tonight, Ray Allen, who's second behind me in all-time three-pointers made, and none other than the legend himself, Larry Bird. My all-time best 5 three-point shooters.
Ray keeps closing in.
Well, he will, yeah, I say in another 2 years, 2.5 years, it'll be all his.
And a 3-second violation is called.
And for those of you who do write in to Reggie's Mailbag, I'm happy with it. And here's the replay of the 3-second call as Rashard Lewis got into the paint. But I'm happy with Ray.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, records are made to be broken. I'm not bitter or one of those guys that doesn't. Ray's a great guy, comes early, works hard, stays late. What better person to break my record than a Ray Allen?
Ball is deflected out, last touched by the Magic. A vote of confidence for Ray from Reggie.
That's right.
Very nice. Ray Allen off to the good start, bouncing back from the 2 of 12 in game 1. 10 points, 5 rebounds for Ray. Hodges shot blocked by Petrus. Kept alive by Davis, finding House. Just say House. I'm thinking of Craig Hodges.
Well, nice hustle play there by Glenn Davis.
And Howard is fouled. So Dwight Howard to the line. The foul is on Davis.
And look at Rashard Lewis as he. Looked like Glenn Davis was all out of bounds as he came up with that steal from the behind of Rashard Lewis.
Dwight Howard at the line for the first time tonight. During the regular season, just 59% at the line.
That's a good foul by Davis. You put a guy who's 60% free throw shooter on the season at the line.
Dwight Howard led the NBA in rebounding and block shots, Defensive Player of the Year. The other night, got off to the slow start, a scoreless first half, and finished with 16 points, 22 rebounds, and 3 block shots. I should say scoreless first quarter for Dwight. Was 1 of 2, so the Celtics with a 37-28 lead. 5 minutes gone by in the second, and here's House. Yes, that's a two-pointer. He had a foot on the line, but Eddie House showing the entire repertoire. Hit 2 from in close, 1 on a floater, and then the perimeter shot. Howard cannot hit. Rebound Davis. Here comes Rondo. Rondo to Davis. Beautifully done. Rajon Rondo with 8 assists. Glenn Davis, 5 points. 10-1 run for the Celtics. The Magic take a timeout. Celtics up by 13.
And Doc Rivers has been wanting Rondo to attack the lane, because when he gets into the lane, he's going to draw over Superman Dwight Howard. And if he does that, that means the bigs are going to be wide open. Davis does a good job of following Howard to the basket for the easy dump down by Rondo lay-in. Rondo tonight, 8 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds in 15 minutes of play for the Celtics.
Boston is led right from the start. 6.5 to go in this first half. J.J. Redick is back. He and Rafer Alston at the guard. Petrus with Howard and Lewis on the front line. Shot clock to 5. Howard had it slapped away at a foul. Paul Pierce picks up number 3. He has not been able to stay on the floor.
Well, this is right around the same time in game 1 at that 6-minute mark that he picked up his 3rd foul, and the Magic went on that run. So let's see what happens with 6:20 left in this second quarter. If Stan Van Gundy and the Magic can make some kind of run to get back in this ball game.
Alston with a nice lead pass, and Howard with the stuff. 7 points for Howard, along with 7 rebounds. For more on Paul Pierce, let's go to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, yesterday Paul Pierce was very specific about this. He said he cost his team game 1 by getting into early foul trouble. He said he has to be smarter and keep his hands out of the cookie jar when he gets 2 fouls. And now he's going to have to sit for the rest of this half with the Celtics up 41-30.
So new Goodyear Fuel Max tires help you save 2,600 miles worth of gas. That's
almost 4 trips between rivals Cleveland and Boston.
How'd you know that?
I've covered a lot of basketball.
Back in Boston, where the Celtics lead 41-30, it was an all-star year for Magic point guard Jameer Nelson until February 2nd, when he was going for a rebound against Dallas. Dislocated his right shoulder. He's out for the rest of the season. It's been a big blow for the Magic. They tried to get recover by getting Rafer Alston, but Jameer, obviously they miss you, and I'm sure you miss being out there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that I can help the team a little bit. You gotta give Skip a lot of credit. He's done a great job so far, and we have a lot of confidence in him.
When you're watching the games from the bench, what are you seeing as a point guard in terms of how the game is going and how the team is getting into what they need to be getting into?
Well, you see it from a different perspective. The thing is, when you're on the bench, it's so slower, and you can try to help guys out during the course of the game. But the game is so fast when you're playing. You see it differently.
What would you do to try and slow down Rondo, who's having a great first half?
I don't know. He's a great player. He's a great talent. I think for the most part, we just got to keep him out of the lane. However we have to do that, we have to do it.
What is your rehab schedule? When will we see you back on the court?
Hopefully I'll be back preseason. That's what I'm shooting for. I think I should be shooting in another month. Only thing I don't have right now is my strength. I have all my range of motion. And, you know, I'm just doing everything they tell me to do to get ready.
Amir, we miss you. We want you back out there real soon.
I'll be back soon.
All right. Thanks, man. Back to you, Marv.
All right, thank you, David. Rayford Alston committing that foul. Jameer Nelson was having a career season. Started to come on late last year. And as David mentioned, did make the All-Star team, averaging just under 17 points a game. Here's Perkins with one on the shot clock, was able to release it, extends the Celtic lead to 43-30. Coming up on 5 minutes to play in this first half. Lewis tries to make the turn on Scalabrine, and he does.
The Magic been in the bonus since Paul Pierce picked up his third foul with 6:20 left. Got to be aggressive, try to get some easy ones at the free throw line. I've only taken 6 free throws in this first half.
Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo now in the backcourt. Here's Scalabrine for 3. So at first, Brian Scalabrine hesitant to take the shot. Hit one from the right-hand side for 2 moments ago. Lewis shoots for 3.
Scalabrine, when you are guarding Rashard Lewis, you cannot help that much, understanding he's one of those players that can post you up as well as take you deep. You got to stay attached.
Rashard Lewis got off to the fast start in game 1 and then cooled off in the second half. Shot clock down to 3. Rondo on a crossover. Rondo with the rebound. Here's Rondo putting a move on Redick, but came up short.
11 field goals already for Rondo. I know Paul Pierce has foul trouble, but Ray Allen, ooh.
That's a hard foul by Perkins. That'll put Howard at the line. It's only the first on Perkins. See the Celtics huddling up on the right side of your screen. Here's a programming reminder. Don't miss the new season premiere of Leverage, starring Timothy Hutton, this July on TNT. So Dwight Howard back to the line. He's 1 of 2 at the free throw strike.
And what I like, Kendrick Perkins went that first quarter with 0 fouls. He just picked up his first foul against Howard right there. And that's something Doc Rivers wants to make sure, because you have to have Perkins, the biggest body that the Celtics have, to go against Dwight Howard in the second half.
Howard 1 of 4 at the line. Major reason why, when you look at the NBA stats, foul is on J.J. Redick. Got tied up with Ray Allen. 13 foul on Orlando. And when you look at the stats, you see the Magic at the bottom in terms of free throw percentage. The 2 centers, both Howard and Gortat, have had big problems at the line. 3.5 to play, first half. Redick got picked off, and Allen is able to drill it from downtown.
And that's Ray Allen at his best out there, using the single screen, setting up J.J. Redick.
13 points for Allen. A series of moves by Howard. Another rebound for Rondo. House, yes! That's a 2-pointer. Celtics by 16. Turkoglu, off-balance shot by Hedo Turkoglu.
And how about the Celtics? 15-5 in bench points in favor of the Celtics, led by Eddie House's 8.
Here's Perkins. It counts, and the foul. A strong move by Kendrick Perkins, who will head to the line.
And Ray Allen using the screen down here, takes them all the way down, sets up J.J. Redick, gets the clean look for the wide open 3, And then look at the big fella, Kendrick Perkins, taking it down the lane. Sees a little guard down there, you just run over him.
Back in Boston, Celtics now up by 16, and we do have a follow-up question from Reggie's mailbag presented by BlackBerry. This is from a T. Brady of Foxborough, Massachusetts. Hey, Reggie, how do you deal with your paparazzi issues? Well, I can personally vouch for Reggie, who's always been so patient with paparazzi or any media attention for that matter, until an unfortunate incident that took place before tonight's game.
Back off, guys.
Easy.
Back off.
No
Back
cameras,
off,
guys. No cameras.
Back off.
Kidding me? Where you guys from?
You know the routine, guys. Big time fans.
Hey.
This is so,
You know what? They
so
got me.
disappointing.
They got me, Marv.
So out of character. Reggie, you lost
They were
it.
everywhere.
You can't do that.
I know.
Kills
I know.
that nice guy image that you've worked so hard to develop.
I felt like Woody Harrelson going after him on TMZ. It felt bad. Brittany, I felt like all of them combined.
I like the protection that you have.
You like that? My muscle, my henchman.
Muscle, yes. Staff members willing to do anything to get on camera.
No, for a free dinner, that's all.
Oh, I did not realize there was dinner involved. Boston with its biggest lead of the game. Foul is on Scalabrine. How about these numbers? The Celtics have 22 field goals made, 19 assists on the 22 field goals, and they've committed only 2 turnovers. Right here, we'll check in with Ernie Johnson back in our Atlanta studios.
Thanks, Marv. Southwest Airlines game break coming up shortly. The T-Mobile halftime report with Kenny and Charles. They're going to break down what they saw in the first 24 minutes in Boston. Still to come tonight, we'll take you to L.A. for Game 2 in the Rockets-Lakers series with Houston leading 1-0. Kevin Harlan, Doug Collins, and Craig Sager will cover it for us. And now I go back to Boston to Marv and the king of TMZ, Reggie.
Ernie, it has gotten out of hand.
I cannot believe you. Can't believe Ernie was going to take a shot at me like that.
Coming up on 2 minutes to play in this first half. Perkins off a beautiful lead from Allen. That's 12 points, along with 5 rebounds for Kendrick Perkins.
Less than 2 minutes to play in the quarter.
Oh, picked off by House. And House's pass deflected by Alston. Here comes Turkoglu. And he took the hit from Allen.
You know, this is pretty impressive what the Celtics are doing with Paul Pierce, 3 fouls on the bench, only 5 minutes. You think about in game 1 when they were a minus 20 in points in the paint, and tonight it's been reversed. The Celtics have a plus 20 advantage with points in the paint, holding the 3-point shooting of the Magic of 5 of 13, only 39%.
Doc Rivers takes a timeout. Back in Boston, Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, David Aldridge. A minute 38 remaining in the first half. And the Celtics doing to the Magic in this first half what the Magic did to the Celtics in game 1 on Monday night. Boston is at 56% from the field, 23 out of 41. Now 20 assists on 23 field goals. Only 3 turnovers committed by Boston.
Well, like I said, plus 20 in points in the paint. You're a plus 6 in fast break points. And all this with your best player with 3 fouls on the bench and only 3 points for Paul Pierce. Nice contribution off the bench. Eddie House, 8 points. That's 10, 15. You're 15 to 5 in bench points. A complete game, an energy-filled game. Something Doc Rivers said was lacking in game 1.
We asked Doc, what did you say to the Celtics at halftime after that poor performance the other night? He said, nothing. There's no need to say anything. that a strange feeling? Has that happened
Many a
with you?
times. Many a time.
House for three. 19-point Celtic lead as they seek to even up this series at 1. Alston, Rafer Alston. And that's just his second field goal. Orlando at 38% shooting in this first half. Shot clock is down to 7. Oh, Rondo had a wide open opportunity, beat his man with the quick step off the dribble. Scalabrine trying to contend with Howard, who banks it home, and Scalabrine felt that he was fouled by Howard.
And Dwight Howard felt that he was fouled by Brian Scalabrine, but a tough shot, bank shot by Dwight Howard.
Oh, here's Rajon Rondo with something that nearly cost him in game 1. Perkins. I don't know why you do that when you're that far ahead. There's no real reason to save the time in this situation.
There's not. You want this game to speed up.
Right. Doc Rivers said that's something he's gotten into. He's never seen it done to the extent that Rondo tries, where he gets actually, as we saw a moment ago, across midcourt. Alston with Rondo taking a hit off the screen.
How about Rondo? That's his 12th assist. Remember, he had 19 assists against Chicago.
Final seconds of the half. Rondo for 3. That won't count. Time had run out. The Celtics with a stirring first half performance. They lead the Magic 61-46. Kendrick Perkins, 6 of 7 shooting, 14 points. Ray Allen hits 4 of 8. He has 13 points. And Rajon Rondo, 8 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds. Nearly a triple-double in the first half, and he's with David Aldridge.
Rajon, Doc Rivers talked about you having to play with speed. How did you get yourself going?
Start defensively. I want to come out tonight and put ball pressure on Rafer. Did an okay job, but close the quarter, we did a poor job.
Obviously, your bench got going at the end of the Chicago series. You got it again from Eddie House tonight. How big a lift is that for this team?
So it's definitely a big lift. Also, Scalabrine came in and gave us a big lift. Even though they made baskets, he got the ball out quick, and we still pushed up tempo pace.
Rajon, thanks very much. See you in the second half. After a brief timeout, we'll send it down to our Atlanta studios for the T-Mobile halftime report. Ernie, Kenny, and Charles in the studio, and they'll break down the first half.
56% in the first half. How about 22 assists on 25 field goals? They jumped in front. They've led all the way. They have that 61-46 lead as we head to the second half. And tonight, the bench, major contributors for the Celtics.
Well, they've been much maligned, especially in that first-round series with the Bulls, though they did come up big with 30 points in that clinching Game 7. But tonight has been a little bit of everyone. Brian Scalabrine stretching the floor with that jump shot, and Marbury, who had a pretty good first game, didn't get a chance to get in the second half of Game 1, and Eddie House with the long range, and I think he even surprised himself here off the dribble for the lay-in. And then we talked about the Pearson Allen in Game 1's, the struggles. What about the struggles of Rashard Lewis and Hedo Turkoglu? 4 of 12 combined, only 15 points. Now, the Magic are only down by 15, so as many threes as the Magic shoot, they can get back into it, but those two guys have to get going offensively.
Only 42% from the field for Orlando. I mentioned 56% along with the 22 assists for the Celtics. Third quarter underway. And that was deflected out. Celtics have 12 on the shot clock. Let's go to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, obviously the story was Rajon Rondo in the first half. And Orlando's assistant coach, Brendan Malone, said, hey, look, when he's playing that well, there's just not a lot we can do with him. He's been outstanding as far as the Magic goes. Malone said they were dominating us at both ends of the floor. Right now, we look like we haven't played this game. We were rushing everything in the first half. Dwight was rushing his shots. Rafer Alston was rushing his drives to the basket. Said, gave Boston credit, said they were playing extremely well and that they're setting great screens to get their guys open. Marv?
All right, David, and as you saw, Glenn Davis picking up that offensive foul, so the ball back to the Magic. Shot clock down to 4. Alston got the step and a foul. So very quickly. No, it's Rondo on the foul. That's his second. You look back at the first half, the Celtics with a couple of runs. Boston with an 11-1 spurt in the first quarter, a 10-1 run in the second. Alston fouled in the act, and he goes to the line for the first time. Rafer Alston acquired in that 3-team deal with Houston. He was in his 4th year with the Rockets, playing well. He spent time with several clubs prior. Toronto, Miami, Milwaukee. Played for Stan Van Gundy with the Heat, and has done a very good job in taking over at the point for Jameer Nelson. Perkins with a wild shot. Howard trying to get position. He thought he was pushed by Perkins. Crowd looking for a travel. And Howard lost it. He was stripped.
He's got to go up stronger than that. Gather himself. I don't think he had both of his feet set.
Redick defending on Allen. Redick playing with 3 fouls. Had the hot hand back in the first half with 3 threes. Here is Pierce. Paul Pierce just 1 of 3. He's played only 6 minutes and change, playing with the 3 personal fouls. Nice job by Pierce, but the save ends up in the hands of Turkoglu, and there's a pushing foul on Howard.
Offensive foul on Orlando. Correction, loose ball foul on Orlando's number 12.
So Dwight Howard commits his second.
And right here, Dwight Howard just trying to get position, and nice job by Glenn Davis. Put his body between it. Dwight Howard in the basket.
Rondo looks to use the screen. Here's Pierce. And on a switch by Lewis. Davis backing his way. Went with the jump hook and got the roll. Davis 3 for 3, 7 points. Davis took it away from Lewis, and then Alston slapped it back out of bounds. Last touch by the Magic.
Nice play by Glenn Davis right here. Runs Rashard Lewis off that 3-point shot and just gets a hand on the ball to come up with the steal.
Allen for 3. Rebounded by Perkins. Wants to go at Howard. And does! What a night for Kendrick Perkins in his 6th NBA season. Drafted out of high school in Beaumont, Texas. 7 of 9, 16 points. Howard, played by Perkins. And Allen, as he looked to split through, was fouled. That's number 4 on Redick.
And just look how Kendrick Perkins is just backing down Dwight Howard, shooting over that left shoulder. Nice, steady game for Kendrick Perkins down low. 16 points on 7 of 9 shooting.
Mikhail Petrus has come on for J.J. Redick. Redick sits down with his 4th foul. Shot clock to 5. Down at 3, 2. Allen has to fire. Rebounded by Howard. Celtics looking to tie up this series at 1 as they head back to Orlando for the next 2. Lewis, he's been off. Rebounded by Davis. Magic missing their first 3 attempts in this 3rd quarter. Allen lost it. Orlando's also turned it over twice. Turkoglu for three. Hedo Turkoglu. The Celtics lead by 15. This is a Boston team that won 62-20 in the regular season. Finished as the number 2 seed behind Cleveland. Finished up the season winning 12 of their last 14 games. Here's Rondo. Last touch by Perkins. And then in that classic first-round playoff series, Boston taking Game 7 against the Bulls here on Saturday night. 4 of the 7 games going to overtime. 1 to double overtime. 1 to triple overtime. 5 games decided by 3 points or less. And a foul is called on Perkins. Oh, correction, it's on Pierce. And that's number 4.
Now Doc Rivers is going to have to think long and hard if he wants to leave Paul Pierce out here on the floor with just under 8 minutes left in this third quarter.
Pierce has not been able to stay on the floor. Picked up the 2 early fouls. Here's Howard. What a move by Dwight Howard. 11 points, 10 rebounds for Howard. The Magic chipping away. Celtics have led by as many as 19. They clear it out for Pierce. And a foul is called. Blocking foul on Turkoglu.
You talk about the extension here by Dwight Howard. Goes baseline, and you think he's just going to reverse it, but he reverses his body as he's going away, still able to finish with the slam.
Orlando picking up its 13th foul. Perkins misfires. Here comes Alston. He has an open shot. Five minutes gone by in the third quarter. Beautiful pass play and a foul. That'll send Davis to the line. Foul on Alston. So that's team foul number 4. Now Eddie House will come on. Paul Pierce will sit down. So just 10 minutes, 1 of 3 from the field for Pierce and the 4 personals. A programming reminder, don't miss new episodes of Tyler Perry's House of Pain, followed by the new season premiere of Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns. That's Wednesday, May the 27th, starting at 9, 8 Central, only on TBS.
Well, Paul Pierce to the bench at the 7-minute mark of the third quarter. Your team is up 15 points right now. Let's see if Eddie House can continue that hot shooting he had in the first half.
House 5 of 6 off the bench in 13 minutes of play. Lewis for 3. And Perkins able to get to it. Rajon Rondo had a terrific first half, getting the step, and met by Howard. Shot clock is to 7. Allen puts a move on Turkoglu, went to the left hand, rebounded by Howard.
Dwight Howard's 12th rebound to go along with 11 points.
Shot clock to 4. Lewis for 3. Had a shoot, was not in the right circumstance, but knew that he had to catch and fire. 15 points, Celtic lead. Just under 6 left in the third. Allen, yes. 15 for Ray Allen.
That was a mistake by Turkoglu, trying to go over the pick against Ray Allen. You got to stay attached.
The the 2009 NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. And by Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Let's do a good job down here on this out of bounds. Come on, let's get our defense together now. Attack! That's it! That's it! Good job! Attack! Hey, we can still get back into this, but at some point, we're going to have to play a little defense.
Well, Stan Van Gundy understands we have the firepower and the capability offensively to get back in this ball game. But at some point in time, the Celtics, who are shooting 51% on the evening tonight, if they're going to get back in this game, they have to get it done at the defensive end.
Very few stops here for the Magic. Boston 61 points at the half. They have a 69-52 lead. Turkoglu a moment ago hit a three, gets it inside. Howard off balance on that jump hook. Rondo, Allen, and a House in a three-guard set being used here by Doc Rivers. Perkins and Davis are the big men. 5 minutes to play in the third. Look out. Rondo throwing off the mark, could not be handled by Davis. That is only the 6th turnover committed by the Celtics. And a 3-second violation is called. So the ball back to the Celtics.
Magic are just shooting themselves in the foot right here. Opportunities to get back into this ball game, and costly and silly turnovers.
Allen trying to work off the pick. House played by Petrus. Here's House. Yes! How he was able to get that off, I don't know. Mikal Petrus, who goes 6'6", did not allow much room on that shot. Boston is up by 19. Alston for 3. Rondo was able to use the pick, finds House. Yes! Another 3 for Eddie House. And you can see Magic players starting to hang their heads off that last shot. Standing ovation here for the Celtics. 9-0 run for Boston. Howard. And a foul is called.
Eddie House with that quick release jump shot. And you're wondering how he got this shot up over Mikal Petrus. And then Rondo again with his 15th assist to Eddie House in the short corner 3.
House on that foul. Howard just 1 of 4 at the line. Rajon Rondo is 2 points away from a triple-double. 8 points, 10 rebounds, 15 assists, only 1 turnover, and that occurred just a moment ago. For the entire series against the Bulls in the first round, he averaged 19 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, 1 rebound away from a triple-double in terms of averaging 10 rebounds, which would have done the trick. 74-52 Boston, and a battle leads to the foul call. Little pushing and shoving. It's called on Alston. Let's go over to David Aldridge. David.
Well, Marv, you mentioned what Rajon Rondo and everything that the Celtics need. They know that they ask a lot from him to be their leader on defense, to be the ignition on offense. They think it's a little unfair to ask so much of him, but they say that's the way we have to play. Paul Pierce said the other day, I know I'm a handful. I know that it's asking a lot to ask Rondo to get me in the right spots. but we only do it because we know he's capable of doing it, and he showed last year that he thought he was the guy that could handle that big a load. Marv?
Only his third season out of Kentucky, 22 years of age. And remember the thought before last season, after Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen were required, the question, would Rajon Rondo be overwhelmed by having to run this veteran team as Turkoglu is able to knock it down? Well, he had some ups and downs through the regular season and in the postseason, but had some huge games in the finals.
Well, he felt that he was going to have 3 Hall of Famers always in his ears asking for shots.
There's Rondo with the stop! Rajon Rondo!
That's a way to get into the triple-double. 2-point shy and finish like that.
Perkins making the play on Petrus, and Petrus will go to the line. Standing ovation here at Boston. The Celtics have opened up a 23-point lead. I'm breaking time for tonight's U.S. Army Strong Performance of the Night.
And with Paul Pierce on the bench with only 3 points and 4 fouls, this has been the Rajon Rondo show, doing a little bit of everything, getting his teammates involved, rebounding, his 10th rebound, 15 assists to go along with 10 points. And what I like, and Doc Rivers said, we needed his energy and we needed his speed. Rondo, one of those players, because he is getting into the lane. You see the finish here over Superman himself, Dwight Howard.
And log on to NBA.com to see more strong performances. And Rajon Rondo, with his 3rd triple-double of this postseason, and there's many more games to come, has tied Larry Bird for the Celtics franchise record for most triple-doubles in a single postseason.
Pretty good company to be in.
Brian Scalabrine getting set to check back in as Mikal Petrus knocks down the free throws. Coming up on 2.5 remaining in this 3rd quarter. The Celtics up 77-56. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller, and David Aldridge from Boston. First of our TNT doubleheader. The Lakers and Rockets to follow. Desperation game for the Lakers as they try to tie up the series with Houston. Tony Battie will come on for Orlando for the first time. Tony Battie did not play much in the opening round series against Philadelphia. Did not play at all here. Game 1, former member of the Celtics. Alston stopped by Perkins, able to recover. Here is Battie, and rebounded by Perkins. However, a foul is called. And it is on Perkins. So that's number 4 on Perkins. And Boston now over the foul limit.
And you see Doc Rivers quickly put back Lynn Davis in for Perkins. And it almost like Stan Van Gundy has gone to his Twin Towers look with Dwight Howard and Tony Battie on the floor at the same time. And your small forward is 6'10", Hedo Turkoglu.
Well, to this point, Doc, as Howard now 1 of 7 at the line, has managed a very short-handed situation, been able to manage the foul scenario with the 4 on Pierce, as you mentioned, and now 4 on Perkins. Dwight Howard hit his first free throw. He's missed his last 6.
You mentioned before, this is the worst free throw shooting team in the league, right around 71%. Tonight, they're only 55%, 11 of 20.
And they do have some good foul shooters, but Howard and Gortat make it impossible to have a composite decent percentage. Basket won't count. Foul is called. It is on Petrus. That is his 3rd. So Allen to the line. Both teams are now over the foul limit. Ray Allen 4 of 4 at the line.
And I really thought that lay-in early that Rondo got Ray Allen going, and then he had 4 consecutive free throws. And when you're struggling with your outside shot, from a shooter's perspective, if you can get a lane and get to the free throw line to kind of get your rhythm going early, I really believe that's what got Ray Allen going here in this game tonight.
Boston by 22. Oh, the steal by Rondo. Took it out of the hands of Turner and puts it down. It has been a spectacular performance for Rajon Rondo.
Speed kills, activity dominates, and Rondo has been a little bit of both tonight.
Did not have a good first half in game 1. Came on strong in the second half, leading that Celtic comeback after they were down by as many as 28. And as Petrus tries to get it down low, a foul is called. That's 3 on Davis. Mikael Petrus to the line.
Well, you've got Glenn Davis with 3 fouls. You got Perkins on the bench with 4 fouls. You're up by 23. This might be a chance for Doc Rivers maybe to insert a Mikey Moore. You know, if you've got the lead now, you hadn't played in game 1. If you're going to use big bodies, because you're going to need these big bodies when you go down to Orlando to go against Dwight Howard. Maybe see how he plays against Dwight.
Pass thrown by Rondo on a hop intended for Allen along the baseline. Coming up on a minute to play in this third quarter. And the foul away from the ball, it is on House. These are not fouls that Doc Rivers want to see. You stop the clock and you're putting players at the line. For House, it is his second personal, so Petrus will head back to the line. What a night it's been, though, for Eddie House. 7 of 8 from the field, 17 points in all.
Great bench points, especially with Paul Pierce, like we said, being on the bench with 4 fouls. And Eddie House to come in and shoot like that, as well as Scalabrine. I know it's a welcome sight for Doc.
Eddie House, who finished up in the Chicago series on fire. Instrumental in that victory in game 7 as he broke out, hitting 4-4 from the 3-point line, 16 points in all. Also had 3 steals. Last touch by Howard. Boston Celtics coming off that furious series with the Chicago Bulls, and Saturday night, after a low-key celebration in the locker room, Celtic players immediately handed scouting reports on how to deal with Orlando. There's House again. Oh! Austin took a swipe at House, hit him on the head. Apparently there were words exchanged, and let's see how the officials handle this. Rafer Alston actually took a swing and landed on the head of Eddie House. Let's see how they deal with this.
Well, it looked like it was a double technical foul. What Bennett Salvatore gave to Eddie House and 1 to Rafer Alston. And that just would be a sight out of bounds. So Stan Van Gundy looks like he's going to get Rafer Alston out of there before anything else escalates. But Eddie House coming off the screen, knocking down the jumper right in the face of Rafer Alston. How could the officials not see that? I see Bennett Salvatore in the background. He wasn't even looking at the play right there.
Now, that's not what you'd call a hard punch, but he took a swing at him, so that's automatic ejection.
That's an automatic ejection. And maybe automatic suspension, 1-game suspension.
Double technical on Alston and House. House went back at Rafer. Petrus able to get inside. Rafer Alston is very fortunate that he was not tossed.
And clearly, when you look at it on the tape, Bennett Salvatore wasn't even looking in the direction of Eddie House is on fire.
22 points in 18 minutes of play. That's his 3rd from downtown. 86-62 Boston. Johnson had it deflected away. Last touch by the Celtics. Only 10 seconds to go in this third quarter. Orlando with 7 on the shot clock. Turkoglu will put it in play. And here is Turkoglu on a fadeaway. Final seconds of the quarter. Down to 2. Down to 1. Rondo. So the Celtics with an 86-64 lead on the Magic. Boston shooting 55%. Eddie House, 9 of 10, 22 points to lead Doc Rivers and the Celtics.
Welcome back to Boston, where the Celtics lead 86-64 as we enter the fourth quarter. Doc Rivers, you guys said you need speed and energy from Rondo. You've gotten it.
Yeah, Rondo, Steph, Eddie, all the guards, they're attacking the basket. Our dribble penetration is getting us good shots.
Eddie House obviously struggled in the first series against Chicago. What do you think has gotten him going the last couple of games?
His defense, honestly. If he plays defense, he can stay on the floor. He's been terrific defensively. That's allowed him to make shots.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, David, on to the fourth, and the Celtics with an 86-64 lead. Now, Eddie House started the game hitting 1 of his first 2, but he's hit his last 8, including 3 from beyond that three-point line. 22 points in 19 minutes. Here's Turkoglu getting it inside, and Battie is fouled by House. Stephon Marbury has come back for the Celtics, and Doc Rivers stays with the 3 guards, Allen, House, and Marbury, Scalabrine and Davis up front. Tony Battie, the one-time Celtic, to the line. Eddie House, Reggie, has scored 11 points over the last 4.5 minutes. I know it's something you can relate to.
Well, what I like is the screens that are being set for him and the flare screens. Eddie House, it doesn't take much for him to get his shot off. And right now the Celtics doing an excellent job as he's even getting in there and rebounding for the Celtics.
Orlando just 15 of 26 at the line. Howard 2 of 8 from the free throw line. There's Allen. Yes. Boston is now 6 of 15 from three-point range. And as Petrus makes his move, the travel is called.
Well, Doc Rivers was worried about the matchup when they went small with Ray Allen trying to guard Hedo Turkoglu. But at the other end, Ray has the advantage because there's no way that Turkoglu, as you just saw, can stay with Ray when he's coming off a series of screens.
House guarded by Petrus. Marbury played by Johnson. And a foul. It's on Anthony Johnson. It's a non-shooting foul.
Anthony Johnson, that's his first personal.
I'll say this, to be up 23 points at home with your best player, Paul Pierce, having only played 10 minutes and 3 points and rested. Because you got to remember, these two teams are playing every other day. So to have a well-rested Paul Pierce for a game 3 is huge.
Plus no Kevin Garnett, no Leon Cole. Of course, Stan Van Gundy will say no Jameer Nelson, no Courtney Lee. Foul is called, a pushing foul that will send Petrus back to the line. Marbury called for that personal. Paul Pierce opened up the scoring tonight, way back, what, 2 hours ago, by hitting a three-pointer.
Yeah.
That's his only field goal. That's it. He has played, as you mentioned, just 10 minutes and picking up 4 fouls. So he is sitting it out. But it's been the combination of Kendrick Perkins, who has been outstanding. 16 points, 9 rebounds. Ray Allen, who's bounced back with 19 points. And Rajon Rondo, who's come up with his third triple-double of the postseason. 12 points, 16 assists, 10 rebounds, and then off the bench, Eddie House, 9 of 10 for 22 points. Marbury on a crossover gives it right back. Allen for three. Yes! I guess Ray has the touch back. Just 2 of 12 in game one. Petrus rebounded by Davis. Good box out against Petit.
This does not even look like the same offense that the Magic had in game one. It's really one pass, one dribble, and shot up.
Marbury again passing out a three, and then a nice feed. Davis gave it up. They continue to swing it. Here's Marbury wide open. Marbury. Well, Allen with the steal. Keeps it alive. They have the new possession. Oh, Davis took a hit. Took a shot from the tee. Davis to the line. Coming up next, it's game 2 between the Rockets and the Lakers. Rockets taking game 1. Kevin Harlan, Doug Collins, Craig Sager will have that from Staples Center. Lakers trying to get back into that series. Timeout is called by Stan Van Gundy. Back to Boston in a moment. A nostalgic look back at the old Boston Garden, an arena that has provided much history and tradition thanks to, well, these guys who are sitting courtside. JoJo White. How about Casey Jones on the left, John Havlicek on the right.
Got my handshake yesterday.
And Bill Russell with Tommy Heinsohn talking over old times. There's your starting five. That's a pretty good lineup.
That's a very good lineup right there.
16 of the 17 Celtic championship banners were earned at the old Boston Garden. And last season, here at the TD Bank North Garden.
One of, if not the hardest arenas to play in. Probably old Chicago Stadium.
Why Boston Garden?
Man, you felt like those leprechauns were all over the place. I'm telling you, people talk about it. Some of my worst games was in that building. They would always have the cold water on while they're taking the nice luxury showers, warm. It'd be cold. You playing here in the playoffs, and it's hot.
So the ways of Red Auerbach did get to you.
Yes, they did. God rest his soul. But he had some tricks up his sleeve.
Nice pass inside, and then Scalabrine slapped away, but he's called for the foul. Rashard Lewis, who just checked back in, will head to the line. Yes, the visiting locker room was a bit steamy, a bit hot.
So you agree with me?
Well, I wasn't playing. I was broadcasting, so I don't think I was affected in the same.
They didn't care about you. They didn't care about you either.
Although I must say my broadcast table was a little scratchy. And you had to be very careful around it.
And I guarantee you, Tommy Heinsohn had the nice plush table to commentate on.
I must say, at the old Garden, that was not the case for anyone. So Johnny Most, I can recall, way up in the rafters, although he enjoyed it. It's actually a great broadcast location here for both home and away.
When you think about in the early 80s, you talk about Jack Most. What about Chick Hearn and those great Celtics, Lakers matchups? Two of the best probably play-by-play voices ever in basketball, along with yourself, Marvelous. I just remember listening to a lot of those calls when I was at UCLA and the great rivalry between these two teams, between those two teams.
Nice lead from Anthony Johnson, but J.J. Redick blows the layup. Marbury finding Scalabrine for three. back to the Magic. Brian Scalabrine, although reluctant to shoot early on, has once again done a nice job. 28 minutes, 2 of 3, including 1 from downtown. He has 5 points, a couple of rebounds, 2 assists, block shot.
Kind of nice walking around here and hearing some of the fans call him by his alter ego name. Jackie Moon, as they say. Playing well for the Jackie Moon of Semi-Pro, I believe is the name of the movie, correct?
A Will Ferrell movie.
Will Ferrell.
And there was a character who wore a headband, very similar to the padded headband that Brian Scalabrine is wearing. Fouls on Redick. Well, you mentioned that he's been greeted by chants of Jackie Moon, the fictional character in the movie Semi-Pro.
I can see a little.
Doc Rivers referring to it as the Jackie Moon headband. A cult that has developed here in Boston. Marbury not able to hit on the fadeaway. Petrus gets inside.
A nice strong move by Mikal Petrus right there, just going right at the body of Glenn Davis.
Boston up by 20 with 7.5 remaining on the fourth. Allen rims out, rebounded by Lewis. Here comes Johnson. Redick has hit 3 from downtown, 3 in a row back in the first half. Lewis backs his way. Nice fake on Scalabrine. Rashard Lewis has been very quiet. He's 4 of 12 points. And Doc Rivers takes a timeout. Celtics have led by as many as 26. Up here by 18. Orlando with an 8-0 run.
2009 NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by AutoTraderClassics.com. Do you have a passion for classic cars? Well, show off yours. Search for new ones or find events by joining the AutoTraderClassics.com community. By T-Mobile. Stay connected to all the heart-stopping NBA action with the T-Mobile G1. By Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. And by McDonald's McCafe. I'm loving it.
Hey, listen, this series has got a long way to go, but right now as a group, we don't look like we want any part of it when they play hard. We want it to be easy. You are not going to become a championship team at being easy.
And that's what I was worried about, because I wanted to see the mentality of the Magic after winning game 1. Were they going to come out here and compete and try and leave here up 2-0? And what Stan Van Gundy is saying is basically, guys, if you think things are going to be easy against the world champions, you're dead wrong. You have to fight and earn every single game against this team.
Games 3 and 4 in Orlando Friday night, then Sunday night. We'll have Sunday night's game here on TNT. Here's House open. Yes! That's a two-pointer. He continues his dazzling shooting performance. 10 of 12 from the field, 24 points. And Eddie House hearing the chants from the crowd. Basketball count, offensive foul, illegal screen. Foul is on Howard. That is his third.
Eddie House is doing it at both ends because he understood if he just ran straight into Dwight Howard, he was going to pick up an offensive foul on Howard.
Paul Pierce back on the floor. Rajon Rondo back. Here's House for 3. Yes!
Oh, wow.
And the foul. The contact from Anthony Johnson, a potential 4-point play.
And it's been the flare screens and the screens down low that have gotten Eddie House going. And this is just a simple like brush screen, 1-2, and Eddie House behind the three-point line. Anthony Johnson a little late, rotating to him, comes up with a foul. 4-point play for Eddie House.
He's 4 of 4 from three-point land. Eddie House playing for his 7th team in 9 years. Originally a second-round draft pick of Miami 2 years ago with the Nets. A guy who provides instant offense, defensive 3-second violations, so that's a technical foul. Eddie in his 9th season out of Arizona State. And gets many open looks with this group. Mentioned the game he had against the Bulls in the finale, 4-4 from the three-point line, and Eddie involved with Rafer Alston in this scenario. And I tell you, this will be a judgment call by the league office. Should that, well, it was a slap, but should that be interpreted as a punch?
Well, Stu Jackson is really going to have to think long and hard about this, because you can make that same interpretation about an elbow. You remember when Dwight Howard elbowed Samuel Dallenberg in that first round? That wasn't a punch as Rashard Lewis. A punch is an automatic suspension, but so should an elbow. But that's an open hand slap, and if you don't suspend them, then everyone's going to go around slapping guys upside the head. And so this is just a tough decision. Emotions are high. It's a playoff game. We'll see what comes from it with Stu Jackson.
1 on the shot clock. Rondo gets it off for 3. Coming up on 5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Here's Redick open. J.J. Redick. And that is his 4th three-pointer. So the Magic cutting into that lead at 17, but time is running down. There's House again open for 3. Comes back to Scalabrine. It's amazing how often Eddie House is open. And a foul as House and Redick involved in that collision. And for Redick, it's number 5. Now they say 6. 6 fouls, and Redick has fouled out. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson back in Atlanta.
All right, thank you, Marv. It's a Southwest Airlines game break. In about 20 minutes from now, Yao Ming and the Rockets take aim at a commanding 2-0 lead over Kobe Bryant and the home-standing Lakers.
It's time
game
now.
2 of that Western Conference semifinal, game 2 of our TNT doubleheader. Now let's go back to the house party in Boston.
Okay, thank you very much, Ernie. There's also a technical foul called on Redick, who did not like the call made against him. So House to the line to shoot the tee, and in the process, we're told J.J. Redick was ejected. So the stat line on Redick, 5 of 8, 15 points. He hit 4 three-pointers in 25 minutes of play.
Well, I think it'd almost be safe to say that Doc Rivers has his team respond to that lackluster effort in game 1.
Coming out with little energy in the first half, down by as many as 28 points. Lewis is fouled, and then came roaring back in the second half. Got it down to 4, then down to 3 in the final second. Scalabrine picks up the foul number 4. It is a non-shooting foul. Here's the runner by Lewis. So Rashard Lewis coming on late. He now has 17 points. The Magic over the limit. Next foul for Boston puts them over. As we approach 4 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Offensive foul on Perkins. So that's 5 on Perkins. The ball back to Orlando. The Magic 59-23 in the regular season. They finished 3rd seed in the East, won the division for the 2nd straight year. Opening round beat the 76ers in 6, although it was not easy. They were trailing 2-1. Petrus with the stuff. Magic have not advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals since back in 1996. And the 59-23, second best record in franchise history. You go back to Shaq and Penny in 95-96. That team won 60 games. Pierce trying to shed Turkoglu and shoots over him. Rebounded by Lewis. Petrus making his move was held by House.
Well, Petrus coming on late offensively for Stan Van Gundy and the Magic. Trying to put a little pressure, knowing he has Eddie House down low, trying to post him up.
Ray Allen is back, and Eddie House hears it from this crowd. A standing ovation. 11 of 14 shooting. 5 of 6 from the line. 31 points for House. Let's take a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. Tomorrow on ESPN, Atlanta at Cleveland. Game number 2. Saturday on ABC, Cleveland at Atlanta, game 3. And then Sunday here on TNT, we'll have game number 4, the Celtics and the Magic from Orlando. Coverage starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So a new playoff career high for Eddie House with the 31 points. With Rondo. Rajon Rondo adding to his triple-double numbers. 14 points, 10 rebounds, 17 assists. Offensive foul on Howard. That's number 4. Just under 3 left in the 4th. Shot clock down to 5. Davis, yes. He's played well, 13 points, 5 rebounds, been able to stay clear of severe foul trouble.
That's a tough shot for someone who's 6'8", 6'9", and runs 300 pounds. One dribble, nice touch.
Lewis can't hit, and Rondo hit by Lewis, trying to slap the ball away.
Loose ball foul on Orlando's number 9, Rashard Lewis. That's his first personal.
Timeout with just under 2.5 remaining. In the 4th, Celtics 106-88 over the Magic.
Welcome back to Boston, where the Celtics lead 106-88, and where the Celtics in the NBA care about the community. This season, Celtics players, led by Kendrick Perkins and Gabe Pruitt, spent quality time with children and families at a Boston homeless shelter. The players served a warm meal and shared laughs with residents in an effort to raise their spirits during these challenging times. The NBA, where caring happens.
All right, David. Kevin Garnett checking the pulse beat of his team as he continues to pace in front of that Celtic bench.
This has to be killing Kevin Garnett to watch his team go out and compete on a nightly basis during the most important time of the year, the playoffs. You know, having worked out with him and played with him and against him, I know his competitive nature and is probably just eating him away. He has put off the surgery, which kind of in the back of a lot of people's mind around here, thinking maybe of a Willis Reed at some point in time. I don't see that happening, but you never know.
Well, the Celtics have made it clear that he will not return. You don't seem to believe it. You say he's being eaten away? Oh, eating at him.
It's eating at him watching. I just think, I know KG, and if he can play a little bit, and help a team out, maybe 15, 20 minutes, he may do it. I think if this team advances, which will be tough.
Here's Scalabrine with a deep three. Yes! Brian Scalabrine from way downtown. So he has 8 points. And Boston now up 110-88. And Petrus hit on a reach-in as Doc Rivers is about to empty his bench. Let's revisit cold, hard facts. I asked the question earlier, what do the Celtics have to do to even up the series here tonight?
Well, I said it started with the backcourt. Ray Allen found his jump shot, 22 points tonight. But how about the triple-double by Rondo? 18 assists to go along with 15 points and 11 rebounds. Attacked the paint. They were a plus 16 with points in the paint. They were a minus 20 in game 1. And even though Orlando shot 8 of 19, a lot of those, especially down the stretch, is when the lead was 20 plus for the Celtics.
Well, Bill Walker, rookie from Kansas State. Gabe Pruitt, second-year man out of Southern Cal. The veteran Mikey Moore, Stephon Marbury have all checked in with just 1:40 to go in this fourth quarter, with the Celtics on their way to tying up this series at 1 apiece. We mentioned Eddie House with 31, a new playoff career high. He's also the first Celtic to score 30 or more off the bench. Here's Mikey Moore. Gave it up. Pruitt right back. And Moore comes up short. House, the first Celtic to score 30 or more off the bench in a playoff game since 1993. Kevin McHale did it. He scored 30. Petit got the hop. House 11 of 14, including 4 of 4 from downtown. How about Rajon Rondo with a triple-double, which includes 18 assists. Remember, in Game 6 against Chicago, he had 19. That tied a Celtic franchise record for postseason play. Walker with the fadeaway. Tied Bob Cousy, who did it on 2 occasions back in 1957 and 1959. So he finishes with 18 tonight after the 19 he put up in Game 6. And a foul as Petrus takes the hit, and he will shoot 2. But a very impressive performance here by Boston. They came out with the energy that Doc Rivers was looking for. Stan Van Gundy, as we've heard during the course of his huddles, not very happy with his team for their performance tonight.
Well, Doc Rivers has to be happy with the effort, especially for his bench. Much maligned bench, only averaging 15 points coming into this contest. We said they had a big bench scoring in that Game 7 against the Bulls when they came up with 30. But tonight, 41 bench points led by Eddie House's 31 for Doc Rivers.
That is waved off. One foul call. Petrus picks it up. So Mikey Moore to the line. Mikey Moore coming over to the Celtics has not been getting the playing time that he expected. Signed as a free agent after being released by Sacramento and Boston, his 9th team in 11 years. Out of Nebraska. Spent much time on the waiver wire and then emerged as a solid player. It was a contract season, but it was a strong year with the Nets, which earned him good money as he signed with the Sacramento Kings.
You know, I'm thinking, you know, we were talking about what Stu Jackson is going to do. That puts a little wrinkle in a Game 3 if Rafer Alston is suspended. Who's going to be the point guard? Anthony Johnson, but who's the backup point guard with no Jameer Nelson? Puts a little wrinkle into it.
Time has run out as the Celtics defeat the Magic 112-94 to even up the series at 1 apiece. And games 3 and 4 in Orlando on Friday night And Sunday night, High Point men, Eddie House with 31 on 11 of 14 from the field. Ray Allen able to turn it, 7 of 15, 22 points. Kendrick Perkins, 16. Rajon Rondo with the triple-double, 15 points, 11 rebounds, 18 assists. Big Baby Davis, 13 points. And they do it with Paul Pierce in foul trouble. Managed to play just 15 minutes and had only one field goal. The first shot of the game, a three-pointer for the Celtics. Let's go to David Aldridge.
Eddie, Doc said you stayed on the floor tonight not because of your shooting, but because of your defense.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic, right? But, you know, he's been saying that even last series, like, if you wanted me to stay on the floor, I have to be active defensively. I know I'm not a defensive stopper, but I can get my hands on balls, keep guys in front of me, and contest shots. I know my rotation, so it's just a matter of having energy out on the court. So, you know, just try to do my job tonight.
You know, you guys say that you ask a lot of Rajon Rondo. You know it's sort of unfair. He's so young, but you have to have it from him. It looked like he provided you with that spark from the beginning tonight.
Definitely. He picked up where he left off last game. I think in the middle of the third quarter last game, he picked him up full court. You know, we just had a lot of energy on both ends of the court, and that's what we need from him because everybody else follows suit. So if he sets a tone, we follow him, and, you know, he's like our leader on the court, even though he's not the captain, but he's like a captain. So when he plays well, I think we all play well.
To ask you, did you say something to make Rafer slap you in the head?
No, I just made a shot, and I think that, you know, that's what happens when you start busting somebody's ass. They get upset like that and resort to Bush League tactics. So, you know, we above that. We not into that. We just going to play basketball and keep trying to put wins on the board.
Eddie, thanks.
Thank you, man.
I always do that with you, Marv, right?
What'd you say, Reggie, huh? Final score, Celtics 112, and the Magic 94. Series tied up at 1 apiece. Thanks to producer Scooter Bertino, director Renato Lowe, statistician Paul Evans, for Reggie Miller, David Aldridge, and the rest of the crew. I'm Marv Albert saying good night from Boston. Coming up, Game 2 between the Rockets and the Lakers. Kevin Harlan, Doug Collins will have the call. Thanks for watching. After a quick break, we will send it to Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio.